Hello. Welcome back to TFC in the Car. My name is Pastor Harrison, and I'm so glad you're back. Whether you're riding in the back seat of a car like me, or you're sitting at home, or wherever you are, I'm so glad that you found this video and you're joining us again. This is episode 4 of TFC in the Car, which means we are like halfway done with summer. You might be watching this later. Summer might be over by the time you're watching this, but when I am making this video, summer is already halfway over, which is crazy. I cannot believe it. It is hot outside. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I've been riding in the car a lot. I've been drinking a lot of water to make sure that I stay hydrated when I'm outside and it's hot, but it's already halfway over. If you were here with us last week for TFC in the Car, you'll remember some of the things we're going to talk about today. But before we get into that, one of the first things that we always do is we hold both of our hands just like this. We wiggle our fingers, put them right here on your belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, like I said, if you were here last week for TFC in the Car for episode 3, if you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch it if you want, before or after this one. It doesn't matter a whole lot. But one of the things we talked about was question words. We talked about the question words of who, what, when, where, and why. And there's also how, right? That's kind of our 6th question word. But we have who, what, when, where, and why. And we talked about when we want to talk about or answer who, what, when, or where, we can sometimes answer those questions with one word, right? Who, you, what, that, when, then, where, there. Who, what, when, where, you, that, then, there. But when we talk about why, when we ask questions with a why word or a how word, sometimes those questions take a little bit longer to answer. We can't answer them with just one word, but we need a little bit more to answer them. And a lot of the times when we want to answer a why question, we answer them with a story. I told you about when I was a kid and there were thunderstorms and I would be afraid of the thunder. Sometimes the people around me would tell me that there was nothing to be afraid of, but it was just angels bowling, right? And that wasn't really what thunder is, but they wanted me to know that I didn't need to be afraid of the thunder. Why did I not need to be afraid? And they would tell me the story. And it wasn't a story that told me about science or anything like that, but it was a story that told me about why. And sometimes when we have questions of why, we want to go to a place that it doesn't just answer the why for you or for me, but instead it can answer for a group of people. And that way we have our why questions together and we can have our answers to those questions together. And like I said, my name is Pastor Harrison. I'm a pastor. I work at a church, which means that a lot of the times when I have why questions or when people around me have why questions, one of the places that I go is the Bible. The Bible is this big book and it's full of stories. It's full of stories and writings and letters that one person wrote to somebody else. But the cool thing about the Bible, about the stories and the things that are in the Bible, is that they were written by people thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago, people wrote down these stories and wrote these letters and gathered them together in this book. And for the past 2,000 years, when people had why questions, they would open this book. They would read a story, or they'd read one of those letters, or there's songs in here kind of right in the middle in the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms starts with a P. It's a silent P, but it's all of these songs and poems. And when people had questions or they were worried about something or they didn't know what to do, sometimes if they had how questions, like how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to be kind? How am I supposed to treat somebody who's mean to me? They could look in the Bible and find answers to these questions. And one of the really cool things about the Bible is that people have been sharing it for so long that if you have a why question, somebody might be able to help you with an answer from the Bible. And you can share that answer together because we share the Bible together. The Bible is not just something we share together with the people close around us, but we share it with people around the world. We share it with people who have lived for the past thousands of years. This Bible is one that I use sometimes when I go to church, when I go to the Faith Community, and I share it with people there. But this Bible is special to me because it's not just my Bible, but it was my Mimi's Bible. It was my grandma's Bible. And she's not alive anymore, but I get to have her Bible. And it's something, look, you can see she kind of wrote notes in there. You see all of her little handwriting right there on the side. And Let me see if I can find another one. Oh, look at this. Right here in the middle, she's got this page. I don't know where this came from, but it's notes that she took. Some other time she was talking about the Bible with somebody else, and it's got all of these things. Her bookmarks are in here, and I like using this Bible because it reminds me that the Bible is something that we share. The Bible is something that we share together, and it's something we can work on together. If you have a question and you find a place in the Bible to help you with your question, but then sometimes what you find in the Bible just makes more questions. You might have a why or a what or a who or a when or a where or a how question about the answers that you found in the Bible, and then you can talk to people about it because we share the Bible. It's something we talk about together. And that's one of the things that I really like about having the Bible is how it's something that we can read together. And if you have a question about the Bible, somebody else might have an answer. And if they have a question, you might have an answer. Something that we share together. In the Bible, there are times when we read it, like I said, that it makes us have more questions than we had when we started. But we can read it together. We can ask questions about it together. And sometimes that's all we do, right? At the end of our time reading the Bible together, sometimes we don't have more answers. All we have is questions. But those questions can help us to know where we need to go next, where we need to think about more, where we need to investigate more, explore more, wonder more. Questions are good about helping us to think more and to spend more time on something. And if you have a question about something, sometimes that just means that that's important to you. Remember, we've talked about our emotions before and the things that we feel. Sometimes the things that we feel tell us what's important to us, and our questions can do the same thing for us. It can let us know what we want to spend our time doing, where we want to spend time thinking about more and wondering about more and praying about more. And the Bible can help us do that because the Bible is something that we share together. These stories that help us answer our whys and our hows that we share together. And I really like it, again, because it's not something that we just share with the people that we see and that we know that are close to us, but it's something that we share with people around the world in all of these different languages and throughout the past thousands of years. People who you know, who might be in your family, but people we'll never know of or people we'll never even hear about. We share the Bible together with them, and that's just such a cool thing that we get to share with them. That's all I wanted to tell you today, was just tell you about the Bible. It's something that we use a lot at the Faith Community. It's something that I use a lot when I'm thinking about you all, when I'm thinking about what I want us to talk about for our times together in the backseat of the car. I think about the Bible and about the stories that are in here and how they can affect us, how they can answer our questions or tell us about more questions we need to think about. So I just wanted to tell you that today. The last thing that we always do when we're together is we always say our blessing, right? And right before we do that, let's one more time put two hands up just like this and wiggle those fingers. Put them right here on your belly. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we can say our blessing together. So you can repeat after me. Okay, it goes like this. God made me on purpose. There are people here who love and support me. Today I will be my authentic self, include someone, and disrupt what hurts others, just as Jesus showed me. All right, like I said, the summer is halfway over, but we are not done yet with TFC in the car, so I hope that you enjoyed this video today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.